Many people around the world are nervous that Iran might be developing a nuclear weapon. And the only way to make sure they never get that weapon is for a bomb to be dropped. But not just any bomb. It's a bomb that only the United States has. And some people are saying President Trump needs to drop that bomb on Iran. If you want to improve your English because you are studying for the IELTS or TOEFL exam, maybe you want to understand the news better in English, or maybe you just want to have better conversations in English. Either way, this lesson will be perfect for you. By the end of this lesson, you are going to learn 25 new terms. Together, we will watch a newscast about this bomb, about where Iran might be making those nuclear weapons. Before we start, if you don't mind, please hit that like button. That way other English learners will be able to find this lesson. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss another English lesson.
Well, Israel is continuing to hit Iran's nuclear sites, but one remains a major concern in that country. The site is called Fordow, and it's buried about 300 feet beneath a mountain. And as Ed mentioned, many analysts believe Iran has concealed efforts to work toward nuclear capability there. Associated Press reporter David Rising says destroying Fordow may require American involvement. Take a listen.
Right now, Israel itself lacks the conventional capabilities to take out such a facility, so it would need to talk to the U.S. about the bunker buster.
The first thing they talk about that I thought might be difficult was the city of Fordow. Fordow is a secret underground uranium enrichment site in Iran. Uranium enrichment site. We have talked about that on this channel already. I will leave a link to that English lesson at the end of this one. Israel wants the US to help destroy Fordow with a powerful bunker buster bomb. Don't worry, we'll talk about bunkers and we'll talk about bunker busters. Do you know this word? Concealed. Concealed, it means hidden so no one can see it. Iran's Fordow facility is deeply concealed inside a mountain. It is said to be between 250 and 300 feet below the ground. In that picture, you can see that person is concealing their face. How about another sentence that uses concealed? She concealed the gift behind her back before surprising her friend. Conventional capabilities. Conventional capabilities. I thought this would be a pretty difficult term. It means regular, non-nuclear weapons and tools a military has. Israel lacks conventional capabilities to destroy Fordow alone. Yeah, they need the United States help. Next, we have an English phrasal verb. And as you and I both know, English phrasal verbs can have multiple meanings. But in the newscast, they use it like this. Take out, to destroy something completely. The U.S. may take out Fordow using a bunker buster bomb. And in the picture, I have this man, and he is taking out his shed. If you don't know what a shed is, a lot of Americans have sheds in their backyard to keep extra tools they might need, maybe a lawnmower. Let's take a look at this sentence. He took out the old shed in his backyard to build a new one. Hang on just a second. I need to interrupt the English lesson to let you know I am offering private one-on-one English conversations. If you want to improve your English and you want me to be your tutor, check out the comment section or the description below. There you will find a link to sign up. And if you use the code 10OFF, you'll get 10% off your lesson. Okay, now back to the English lesson.
So it would need to talk to the U.S. about the bunker buster.
Now, a bunker buster is a bomb designed to drill deep into the surface before exploding. The American arsenal contains the latest so-called bunker buster bomb, believed capable of drilling 200 feet below the surface before exploding.
Okay, so next we need to talk about bunkers and we need to talk about bunker busting bombs. Not that easy to say, but a bunker is a strong underground shelter built to be safe. And if you look at that picture, many Americans who live in areas where there are strong storms, they might have a bunker or a storm shelter in their backyard to keep them safe when there is a bad storm. But here's a sentence using bunker. Fordow acts like a bunker for Iran's secret weapons deep underground. How about a sentence that uses it more like a storm shelter? During the storm, the family took shelter in their backyard bunker. Now that you know bunker, we need to talk about bunker busting bombs. Bunker buster bombs are bombs made to go deep into the ground and explode. And this one that they need to use in Fordow is extremely heavy, about 38,000 pounds. And there's only one airplane in the world, the B-2 bomber, that can carry that bomb. And it's only the US that has those capabilities. The GBU-57, there are different types of bunker bombs, and they all start with those letters, GBU, but this is the biggest one. The GBU-57 is a bunker buster designed to drill into deep rock. And we will talk about that verb drill in just a minute.
And the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber is the only bomber configured to carry the bomb. The Air Force says it has successfully tested the B-2 loaded with 2 of the latest bunker buster bombs. Let's bring in Tom Caracco, the director of the Missile Defense Project. He joins us live now. Tom, Israeli officials say they attacked because intelligence that Iran is inching closer to full nuclear capabilities.
Arsenal. There are a couple different ways we use arsenal in English. In the news report, they used it like this: a collection of weapons or tools. We'll talk about the tool way in a minute. Someone has. The U.S. has a bigger arsenal of bunker buster bombs than Israel. But in the picture, you can see there are no weapons there. There are some kitchen utensils. So how about this sentence? A chef's kitchen arsenal includes knives, spoons, and mixers. Next, we have drilling. That means making a hole deep in the ground. Iran's underground facilities involved extensive drilling to hide them, but you could drill for oil, you could drill for water, and I have a sentence about that right here. They're drilling a well in their backyard to get water. That B-2 bomber we mentioned earlier is a stealth bomber. They use stealth in the newscast. I thought that might be difficult, so let's talk about it. Stealth means how something stays hidden or undetected. A B-2 stealth bomber would carry the giant bunker buster to Fordow. But how about this? I have a picture, not about Iran or nuclear weapons. Looks like this woman right here is trying to be quiet. Maybe everyone in her house is still sleeping. Maybe she has to leave for work. She's all dressed in black. I'm not sure why. It looks like she's robbing the house or trying to steal something in the house. But according to the sentence, that isn't true. She wore dark clothes to move through the house in stealth so she wouldn't wake anyone. Should I read it one more time without messing up? She wore dark clothes to move through the house in stealth so she wouldn't wake anyone. Not an easy sentence to read or say with those S's. Configured is next. Configured, it means set up or arranged in a specific way. The bomb must be configured precisely that means like exactly, to drill down into Iran's defenses. Again, the picture has nothing to do with bombs. It looks like this man might be getting a new phone. He configured his phone to go into sleep mode every night at 9 p.m. Next, we have intelligence. Intelligence. This can mean very smart, which I'm sure you are all intelligent. If you're still watching this English lesson, I think it's pretty difficult, but intelligence is used differently in the newscast. It's more like this: secret information collected by a government to help make decisions. U.S. intelligence says hitting Fordow is critical, or like super important, to stopping Iran's nuclear potential. Potential. We have talked about that word in previous English lessons. Inching. Now, we do have a unit of measurement in the United States, an inch. It's probably like that big, but inching is used here as a verb. It means moving very slowly, little by little. The U.S. is inching toward a decision to use bunker buster bombs. It seems like President Trump does not want to get involved in this war, but to truly stop Iran's nuclear aspirations, like the things they want, it might involve using that bunker buster bomb. In the picture, we have an animal that we call an inchworm in English. It does move slowly, but in the sentence, I have something a little different. He inched closer to the edge of the pool before jumping in.
He joins us live now. Tom, Israeli officials say they attacked because intelligence that Iran is inching closer to full nuclear capabilities. So what do we really know about the Israeli intelligence, and how legitimate is it?
Look, I think it's clear that they believe that this has credibility, that they clearly are sticking their necks out on this. I think you've seen from the IAEA, for instance, in recent weeks, talking about how, no kidding, Iran is taking some more steps to get here. Look, I'd say big picture, this has been a long time in the coming.
Legitimate is next. Legitimate. It means legal or acceptable under rules. The U.S. wants to ensure any strike is legitimate under international law. Yeah, President Trump might have gotten into a little bit of trouble yesterday when he tweeted about taking out Iran's supreme leader. He called him an easy target. There is a law in the United States that the government cannot get rid or take out any other leaders of countries. I don't think Israel has the same law, but the U.S. is not allowed to do that according to our own laws. But in the picture, it looks like this person is trying to buy alcohol, but they do have a legitimate ID. In the United States, you have to be 21 to buy alcohol legally. Let's look at that sentence. To buy alcohol, you need a legitimate ID, like a driver's license. I hope I have credibility as an English teacher. The definition: the trust people have in someone or something. The U.S. fears an attack without credibility could damage global trust. Yeah, we, or the United States, I live in the United States, we've done this before. About 20 years ago, or maybe 30 years ago, the U.S. got involved in a war with Iraq because we thought they had weapons of mass destruction. It turns out they didn't, and we fought a long war because of it. I think the United States looked rather stupid because there were no weapons there. We have an idiom here: stick your neck out. That means to take a risk by supporting something others might not. Some Republicans, even President Trump's own party, doesn't agree with getting involved in this war. Some Republicans are unwilling to stick their necks out to support a strike. You might use this in business. He stuck his neck out by taking a risk and introducing a new project at the meeting.
I think you've seen from the IAEA, for instance, in recent weeks, talking about how, no kidding, Iran is taking some more steps to get here. Look, I'd say big picture, this has been a long time in the coming. Whether they're doing, as the intel suggests, work on some nuclear trigger or something like that, regardless, this has been a long time in coming. And I think we have to probably give it the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, in English, we have the IAEA. You might call it something different in your language, but let's talk about what it means in English. The International Atomic Energy Agency. And this checks that nuclear energy is peaceful. Like, countries are not using that energy to make bombs. It's been around since 1957, so I don't think it's that great at its job. Many countries have developed nuclear weapons since this agency has been created. The IAEA said Fordow was undamaged after the initial, or like the first, Israeli strikes. What if somebody is looking at the big picture? That means the overall situation, not just small details. U.S. leaders say they have to think about the big picture before striking. What if someone says it's been a long time coming in English? That means something finally happening after waiting a long time. Some argue a U.S. strike on Fordow is a long time coming. But in the picture, I have nothing about bombs. This is about a woman who is graduating. Her graduation was a long time coming after years of hard work. In English, we can use trigger as a verb or trigger as a noun. In the newscast, they used it as a verb, but we'll talk about both. As a verb, it means to cause something to start suddenly. A bunker buster strike could trigger a wider regional war. Like, other countries in the area might get involved, like maybe Saudi Arabia or Iraq. I don't think anybody wants a wider war in that region, but there is a picture of someone lying in bed and turning off their alarm. The loud alarm triggers her to wake up immediately in the morning. And in English, if you use trigger as a noun, it's that little thing on a gun that when you push it, a bullet will come out. What if you give someone the benefit of the doubt? That means choosing to trust someone even if unsure. Trump gave Iran the benefit of the doubt about peaceful nuclear intentions. The US has not attacked Iran yet. They wanted to try to get them to the negotiating table. We've talked about the negotiating table before on this channel. What about this sentence? He gave his friend the benefit of the doubt when she said she'd be late. So for whatever reason she was late, he said, oh, it's probably for a good reason.
Regardless, this has been a long time in coming, and I think we have to probably give it the benefit of the doubt.
And we're seeing Iran engage in fire with Israel. Can you talk to us about Iran's missile inventory and their capabilities? I mean, how long can they truly stay in this fight?
Look, Iran has the biggest ballistic missile inventory in the Middle East. They're very active. They've got just tons and tons of families of missiles, and they're very proud of that fact. This has been a very significant number of volleys of significant salvos against Israel over the past 5 days or so. It's clearly one of the biggest ballistic missile engagement episodes in history. And so they've probably got, however, hundreds more. They probably started with a couple thousand. Unfortunately, Israel has had to play catch. They in the United States have been intercepting just a whole heck of a lot of these.
Inventory. That is a list or stock of items someone has. The U.S. checked its inventory of bunker buster bombs before offering support. The store did an inventory count to make sure nothing was missing before closing. And in the picture, we might say that is the store's inventory. That's all the things they have to sell. Volleys. That means a series of missiles or shots fired at once. Iran fired volleys of missiles at Israel in retaliation. And we also have the sport of volleyball in English. There is a picture of people playing volleyball, and the ball goes back and forth across the court. It's kind of like what Israel and Iran have been doing. They have been volleying missiles back and forth at each other. To be honest, before this English lesson, I had never heard this word, but I wanted to explain it to you in case you heard it in the future. Salvos. Salvos. It's basically just another word for volley. Many shots fired together. Israel responded with salvos of airstrikes and missile attacks. What does it mean if you play catch? And in the newscast, they were talking about missiles. It's a grim way to describe two sides launching missiles back and forth. The media said Israel and Iran are playing catch with missiles in this flare-up. We've also talked about flare-up in a previous English lesson. I'll leave a link to that at the end of this one. Intercepting. Intercepting, that means stopping or catching something before it reaches its goal. Israel intercepted many of Iran's missiles using air defense systems. In English, we call it their Iron Dome. It's supposed to stop most of the missiles aimed at Israel. She intercepted the text message before her brother saw it. Maybe somebody wrote something mean to him and his sister saved him from having to read that text message. She intercepted the message. Congratulations, you made it to the end of another English lesson. Don't forget, I am offering private tutoring this summer. If you would like to improve your English by having a one-on-one conversation with me, right down there below is that English lesson I talked about. It's another one about Iran and Israel. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.